Welcome to Doug in Exile. Jack Smith, this is another nail in his coffin. This is a great new move. He went to Chutkan. He thought he'd get a buddy on his side, and she rejected him. Welcome to Doug in Exile. We've been following the Jack Smith scam for a long time. Let's go to the article on Newsweek. Here's the headline. Judge Chutkan rejects push to reveal more of Jack Smith's evidence. So we can give a little bit of backfill for you. Remember, this is the evidence that Jack Smith wanted to spill on everyone, on the public. He wanted them all to see all this dirty detail about Trump, but specifically a secret conversation that he had with Mike Pence that Trump did not want to get out to the public. And so they went back to Chutkan and say, you can release this because it's not protected under Trump's immunity clause. And Chutkan said, no, we're not going to release that. Huge loss for Jack Smith. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up. Here we go. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan denied Friday a press coalition motion to unseal additional aspects of the special counsel Jack Smith's immunity filing in the case involving former President Donald Trump. Now, remember, Chutkan is an Obama appointee. So she had to have said, like, really smelled in the wind that Jack Smith is going under. She's like, I'm not getting on your loser train, buddy. Earlier this month, Chutkan, who is overseeing Trump's federal election subversion case, partly unsealed Smith's lengthy filing aimed at convincing her that the former president's alleged offenses are private rather than official acts of office and can therefore remain in his indictment. Quote, although the defendant was the incumbent president during the charged conspiracy, his scheme was fundamentally a private one. Smith's 165 page filing read, when the defendant lost the 2020 presidential election, he resorted to crimes to try to stay in office. What a scam. Now, remember, Chutkan said, this is way outside of precedent, but okay, you can open up these, you can unclassify and open up these, keep them from being private. But you have to keep these other sections private. That's the Mike Pence conversation, and that's the one that she's reversing him on and saying no to. The press coalition argued that the filing should be further unsealed with only redactions that are, quote, essential to preserve higher values, unquote, and, quote, narrowly tailored to serve that interest, citing the First Amendment, said the press. But on Friday, Chutkan said the press coalition's reliance on the First Amendment is unavailing. She said that the redactions currently in the filing are consistent with both the common law and the First Amendment rights of public access to judicial proceedings. Remember, this is the Democrat press, so what do they care about the rule of law in a judicial proceeding? Chutkan did, however, agree on Thursday to publicly release the appendix, ew, gross, Smith's appendix, to his filing, which includes redacted source documents that the special counsel used to support his argument for how the case could go forward. The appendix would be unsealed on October 17th as Chutkan gave Trump's legal team a week to evaluate litigation options, meaning they're going to appeal it, of course. Trump, the Republican presidential nominee, faces 4 felony counts in the Justice Department's jacked up case against him in Washington, D.C., after he already tried to overturn President Joe Biden's, that's an allegation. After he allegedly tried to overturn President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory in the aftermath of his loss, which culminated in the U.S. Capitol riot. And the Capitol riot, we don't know if it had anything to do with that, okay? On that day, and by the way, they're flushing out feds in that audience too. Christopher Wray won't admit to it, but he's essentially won't deny it. On that day, Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building in a failed attempt to stop Congress. No, they celebrated at the Capitol. That's maybe a couple of them did. Okay, there's always some lunatics in a crowd. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all charges and claimed the case is politically motivated against him. True, we know that by the timing already. That's why they're pushing all this out before the election. Jack Smith will have zero interest in this after November 5th. In the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court's July 1st decision that former presidents have immunity for official acts conducted while in office, but not for unofficial acts, Smith updated Trump's original indictment, and a grand jury re-indicted the former president last month before an election to try to interfere with it. That's my opinion, the superseding indictment removed some specific allegations against Trump, but the former president is still charged with the same 4 counts from the original indictment filed in August of 2023. conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. This is the case they should have gone with from the beginning. This is what they needed to prove, and they didn't prove it. So they have to prove all this before they can legally say that Trump conspired to overturn the election. It hasn't been proven in a court of law. They got nothing. So good luck with that, guys. The good news is Jack Smith is crying in his soy milk, and the rest of us are laughing in our dark, bitter beer. I'm Doug in exile.